Right, you absolute legends. Just before I picked the camera up there, well, I was just about to pick the camera up off the side of the pond, and I had to go on a rescue mission. A little bumblebee was floating on the surface of the pond, and it was just about to go down the skimmer, so I scooped the little net out and saved the little dude. Anyway, back to today's job. So today's job is I'm gonna clean the Tornador filter out, because they work so much better when they're clean. But before I do, if you remember back to my last video when I installed obviously the 3 big blues and then the header tank, and I was filling the header tank up manually, well, float valve finally arrived. Best thing ever, absolutely over the moon about it. No longer filling that tank up manually, because it just wasn't making it through the night. I would fill it up at 11 o'clock at night, and by 5:30 in the morning the tank would be empty and the drum would have run dry. Also, if you remember back in the original video, I had this tap was coming up and it was in here. If I've got any footage, I'll overlay it and show you. But being the absolute arse that I am, I dropped the Nexus this week and put this onto a trickle to top up what I was using while it was in here. And after about 20 minutes or so, I thought, pond level isn't going up, what the hell's going on? So I was running around looking for leaks. Thought I had a leak somewhere, I couldn't find any, and then I later worked out in my wisdom that the water was going straight through the screen inside the drum and down the waste chute of the drum, so it was absolutely pointless. So yeah, I had to butcher that in there, and now I've got my auto top up as and when. I can just put it onto a trickle when I drop the Nexus. So no more pond water washing the drum, and no more auto top up. It's a manual top up, and I can control when the water goes in. So onwards for the pursuit of mature water. So yeah, I'm just going to go on and clean the Tornador today. And normally I would see this kind of job as a chore, but after a comment I read on the last video that I uploaded from a subscriber, and me also trying to work on my own mindset, I need to see the positives there. And yeah, I need to be grateful that I've got this awesome pond that I have to try and take care of, and more so grateful for you guys on YouTube, where I actually met a fellow YouTuber through meetups and stuff, Lou Margot, whose generosity knows no bounds. She actually knew I was on the lookout for one of these filters and gifted me this one for free. Give me it as a gift when she's going through a pond renovation at the minute, and yeah, she sent me that Tornador for free. So massive thanks, Lou. I can honestly say, if you take a look in this bucket, they do actually work. So I'm not gonna bore you with all the dismantling. It's basically just a Jubilee clip there, and then take this pipe off. I'll shut the shower off and take the filter off and give all the media a rinse out. So I'll catch you in a bit when I'm at that stage, guys. Yeah, 2 seconds and it's out. But you can see the biofilm, just how dirty it is. Now this is all obviously fed after the drum, but the water is obviously cycling through this bio chamber, and multiple times over the shower, and multiple times through the Tornador. So I'll go and get it dismantled, get the media out of it, and get it clean. So I got it dismantled, all the bits and pieces and the media in the net here. I'll just give it a rinse through, and the unit itself. I had planned to do it over by the drain, but Great British weather, it's pissing it down, so I had planned on having a barbecue today, so we'll see how that pans out. But I'm just going to go and give the media a rinse through, give the tube a clean, and then get it all back together. I know that it is good biofilm and magic jubu juice and all that in there, and in most filters you'd want to keep it, but it really does prevent the Tornador doing the job that it's supposed to do as a foam fractionator. So it's got to be cleaned. Check it out. Absolutely disgusting, but we're all clean. Now it's time for Avengers Assemble and get it all put back together. Oh, I'll take you over here actually. It's not rocket science, like. It's just this diffuser goes in first, and then media. You can see, even clean me bucket, look. And the media is just like a blue K1, if you like, or maybe a K plus. Looks like there's a bit more about it. Ah, for Christ's sake, that's why this shit gets everywhere. You might notice the new heater is installed. When my old one broke the other day, and I got my engineer out to check it, and he said it was the inverter board that had gone. So I contacted heat pumps for that's easy for me to say. Heat pumps for pools. And yeah, they quoted me 700 quid plus VAT for a new board, which I thought was absolutely extortionate. But the new pump is slightly more economical and comes with a full 5-year warranty. So I told them to shove their £800 circuit board. I would just buy a new pump. I think it was 2,800 quid for the new. And to be fair, you know, the other one was about 7 or 8 years old, and I bought it second hand. It kind of owed me nothing anyway. So, but the best part of it is, contacted an electrical company after to see if they would do a repair on the board, which I've posted off to them, and they come back to me the other day with a quote of 1,600 quid. I said, you're having a laugh, a new board is 700. Why would I pay you 16? And they said, oh, this is just a generic quote estimate that we've sort of given you. I'm like, well, why would you do that? And they said, oh, we don't have the part number and we don't know the fault and all this. And I said, well, I've sent you the board. So they're going to get back to me. And if it's reasonable enough, I'll repair the old unit and sell it. If not, it'll just be sold spares or repairs. But someone else might want to pay the 700 quid for a new board and get the old unit up and running. But yeah, but it's just typical, because when the heat pump went, the weather was crap. The pond was at 23 degrees and it dropped right down to 16 over 3 days. Then I bought the new heater a couple of days later. Spent a week getting it back up to 22. And then the heater hasn't been on because of the weather we've had. I mean, the pond reached 26 this week. 26, man. And my heater's set at 22. And it hasn't been on, so yeah. So that's all the crazy bits of plastic that get everywhere back in. And then this bit, which if I remember correctly is quite hard to do. Oh look, it's actually gone on straight away. Happy days. Finishing touches and then we'll be ready to install this little bit here. Seems the sun's come back out now, so I might get that barbecue and an alcohol-free beer. Happy days. So yeah, I'll go and get this whack back in. While I was putting the filter back up, I noticed an absolute bugbear of mine. Sometimes when we've had quite a few power cuts recently, and depending at what stage the drum was at, this bile chamber would fill up to here when the power was off, and then when all the power comes back on, the air kicks in instantly and then fires a load of media over here into the ceramic side, and it gets everywhere. Look, it's even inside the bags. Just in case you're wondering what media I've got in here, there's Crystal Bio, which is pretty much predominantly what it's full of. A couple of bags of Sakura, and then I've got the Mountain Tree. I've really just got the Mountain Tree in there. Look, it's bloody still coming up. I've really just got the Mountain Tree in there to take the hit from the shower when the shower's going back in, because I don't want it eroding any of the other medias. Goodness sake. Anyway, I'm gonna go and torture myself. I'll probably end up emptying this at some point and getting it all out, because it drives me up the wall. But anyway, positive mindset. Back to the job at hand and getting this filter back up on the wall. I did get most of it out. There was probably about 30 or 40 litres in there, which I fetched out before I picked up the camera, but I'll get the lid back on. There's even more coming up. Catch you in a bit. Almost instantly since switch, I've literally only just turned it on, and you can see how the little thing's producing, and it's only just been turned on, and it certainly was not doing that before I took it off. So it just shows you the powers of having the clean media. So if you have one of these and it's not functioning like it used to do, strip it down and clean it, and she will get back going straight away. Love that little thing. Right piece of kit. Thanks again, Lou. You're a diamond. So that's it then, dudes. Another little job done. I thought I'd take you along for the ride, and if this weather keeps up, I'll get and fire up my barbecue. But I don't know whether it's just a placebo effect or whether it's me. But the fish do seem happier. I mean, a week or so before I fitted the header tank on the drum and the big blues, I had turned the auto top up off, and what I was doing was filling my big measuring bowl and treating it with sodium thiosulfate before pouring it in. So I knew that the water going into the pond was good, and it was going in whenever I put it in, not whenever the auto top up decided. So maybe they are feeling a bit better. What I did notice, I did some water tests yesterday, and at 0.02 ammonia, but I had 0.15 nitrite, and I never get readings like that in this pond with that filtration. So whatever chloramine and chlorine was getting into my pond actually knocked the filters back, and we're going through the cycle again. So there has been a bit of flicking and a bit of flashing, but I did do a scrape the other week before I gave 3 fish away. I scraped them and they were completely parasite free. So I think it'll be the little reading of nitrite that we've got that's causing the flicking. That's my new Sankey there. Absolutely stunning fish, love it. Chris Masters got me that in Japan when he was there in October. But yeah, they all seem to be a bit happier. They're not all the way back up on the feed. I think they're getting around 250 grams a day, and that's all they seem to be clearing in enough time. So usually at this time of year, when I had the other fish in, I was up to sort of 600-700 grams a day, but I'm just feeding them what they want and let the filters build back up and see how we go. You can see the water is starting to slightly green up as I turned the UV off the other day. So the only other thing I got to do now is get the Koi Masters Advantage in, but I'm not going to do that until after we've had our barbecue. I don't want to look at a big black cloud through a big grey cloud through my window. I want it to be clear so I can see the fish while I'm enjoying my steak. So yeah, that's it then, folks. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, and I'll catch you next time. Take it easy.